Hey everyone, welcome to the post-race chat of the Singapore GP and also the pre-race chat of the Russian GP in the Bwoah Racing League. And today we've got the top three podium finishers of the Singapore GP. And coincidentally, they're also the top three in the driver's standings in the league. We've got Big Man Joe, who won the Singapore GP. We've got KDB, who's second in the driver standings and also came P2 in the Singapore GP. And we got Accelerate P3 in both driver standings as well as at Singapore. So, boys, before we get into chatting about the league standings and whatnot, talk us through Singapore. Big Man Joe and KDB, both of y'all had were pretty much close together through at least half the race, if not throughout. Talk us through how it was chasing Danny, KDB.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Yeah, sorry. I was pretty much struggling since lap one, turn one, I'd say, because it was really difficult to keep within the DRS range of him because he got away that quickly. The safety car helped because I could get the jump on him in the pits, but ultimately he did have the pace over me. So once he got DRS, that was game over for me as far as P1 is concerned.
I think people should keep in mind that you're in a realistic Williams, yet you still kept it within a second of him and in that ballpark. So it was pretty impressive for us to watch, of course. And Danny, Big Man Joe, tell us how it was having KDB on your tail end in a realistic Williams.
Yeah, I think I figured out how to basically use the fuel and ERS properly on this track, so you could notice that in all the slow speed corners, KDB was closing in. That's because I was running on zero ERS and lean mixture, and then I was deploying pretty much all of it on the straights. So that was the only way I was able to keep out of the DRS zone as well as, just maintain the pace throughout the race. It was really cool, man. I think Singapore not only is difficult for track penalties, but I think like in real life, it's very physically demanding for the drivers. Even for us, it was really physically demanding. I think KDB was really tired after the race. Even my hands, I had massive cramps, so it's really tough, this track. But I think all three of us did pretty well up in the front.
For sure, y'all did. And over to Accelerate. You seemed like you were closing in on KDB early on, at least halfway through the race. But then it seemed like you were losing pace. You even had a moment where you were fighting for position with Mr. Wex as well. Tell us how Singapore went for you.
It was going well early on. When I had the fresh tires, I thought I'd give it all like right there because I know after a couple of laps, like with the tire deck, I'll just like fall back and and with Mr. Vex, I think it wasn't. I think he wanted to just send it like after the hairpin into the next corner. I just closed the door there and wasn't that much of a problem. I kept up with KDB and Daniel, and they had very good pace. With like at the end, I couldn't keep up with them because I think they were just like towing each other and DRSing each other out of my window.
Okay, all right. Speaking about other competitors, we might as well move on to that topic. Clearly, Supreme Leader seems like he's off his game a bit. He was the other competitor up there in the top five. Then we got the recent Only Cuppy making his strides as well. Do you think, y'all have to worry about anyone at all moving further for the next 6 races? Or do you think it's going to be a battle between y'all three moving forward? Anyone can take it.
I guess I think Mr. Vex was really impressive in Singapore, so I think he'll be the one to watch out for in the coming races. Also, I'm not sure who the other guy is. Along with me and Imtiaz for the fight with P2.
Supreme Leader.
The champ. Yeah, Supreme Leader. So like I think we were at like 126. Like we were tied for P2 in the championship before Singapore. So definitely need to watch out for him. But I've been really impressed with Mr. Vex's performance in Singapore.
Imtiaz, what about you?
I think looking at the upcoming races, tomorrow it's going to hurt because it's a long straight in the Russia, and mm, as you know, no straight line speed. So um, it's going to be difficult, but there are other tracks like I can still maximize on, like Suzuka. That's a track I really like, and um, so yeah, looking forward to the battle. And I don't know who's behind on us, but I'm definitely going to try and keep pushing to go forward.
Well said. And Danny, you only extended your lead in the driver standings. How crucial will it be the next few races? Keep yourself on the podium, right? I mean, I think that's what you showed consistency in, and that's the reason you're on top of the driver standings. You made sure you got the podium whenever you could, even though you missed two races. So yeah.
Yeah, because I don't take it for granted. I feel Rusty, Nish, Freeze, Supreme Leader, UK, they're all really, really good drivers. Like if this league was equal performance, I think the table would be very different. Just because the cars are realistic doesn't mean the drivers become slower. So you never underestimate everyone. Like go into each race, prepare well, do your strategy, and whatever comes of it, it's fine. I'm fine with that. So yeah, I think I've not had a really bad result so far. No DNFs or nothing. So I can only hope that even on the worst races, just keep getting in the points and yeah, respect the opposition basically. Yeah.
Perfect. Looks like we'll have quite the fight in store. But as Accelerate brought up, Russia's up next tomorrow, right after the real Formula One race. Something different from compared to what we've followed, having it before. Um, who is optimistic amongst y'all about the race itself? And clearly, MT has already mentioned that straight line speed will be an issue for him to achieve. But yeah, how are you feeling, Big Man Joe and KDB?
Yeah, this is not my strongest track. I think KDB does a lot better here given the races we did with Ultimate T and elsewhere. So I think track penalties is very difficult here because you have a lot of runoff. So it's difficult to know where to maximize, where to, keep it within the bounds. Uh, let's figure it out. I think we have one more day, so let's see where we are after it. But look, even the real race, I'm not really interested in this track. I don't think there's anything very interesting about Sochi besides the fact that Valtteri Bottas loves it. I think what else is there about Sochi that's particularly
Turn
interesting?
3.
So turn 3, okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right. KDB, what about you?
Yeah, I agree with Big Man Joe when he said the track limits on Sochi are really, really cruel. I mean, that's my biggest weakness when it comes to like turn two, and then going into the midsection where there's a lot of 90-degree corner, and it's so easy to just go like an inch on the white line, just like an inch beyond the white line and get your entire lap invalidated. And all those time penalties they add up. I don't have the luxury of like a 6-7 second gap to have a few penalties. That's one penalty and I'm off the podium. So it's going to be really tough.
Okay. And MT, as you mentioned, turn 3. Do you
Uh,
think we'll see you fighting for multiple positions in turn 3 in specific?
if I'm starting from the back, maybe. But if I start from a realistic position, like where I qualify, I think um, I want to like be optimistic and say I'll try to make positions, but realistically thinking, I think I just need to be consistent and bring in some good points. Um, and as KDB was saying, all those 90-degree turns, the thing is, as soon as you go a little bit wide on the exit, you get invalidated. And that's actually the nature of the whole track. Like it's full of 90-degree turns. And yeah, it's going to be challenging to keep the car on track. And I absolutely hate getting like those 3-second time penalties for corner cutting. Like when I see that coming up on the screen, I just want to tear up like everything when I see that. I get like really pissed off at myself for those little things. So yeah, I'll try to keep it minimized, and track limits will definitely be a thing for tomorrow.
What do all you boys think about the weather factoring in? I mean, it's dynamic weather. Of course, we have no control of it, but what if it rains?
Love it.
I know you're always hoping for rain, aren't you? If
Both my
there's,
wins came from rain.
yep, yeah. I remember once before you were doing the rain dance for a specific race, hoping for the
Yeah.
win. But yeah, clearly Imtiaz is gonna love it. KDB, Big Manjo, do you think it's gonna change anything at all?
Yeah, in that I hate rain, so it's going to change a lot for me.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
I mean, yeah, I don't like driving in the rain, especially in the Williams and on this track.
Mhm.
It's going to be a really bad combination. It's fine if the track transitions from dry to wet or wet to dry. I can live with that, but like a full wet race or a full light rain race, I can't. And I really fall off the pace then.
Oh, okay, even light rain?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay, you're not a fan of the rain at all. Okay, Big Man Joe, what about you?
It is difficult to drive. I think if you had to give me two options, I'll always pick drive, all 100%. But I think even if it's the wet, and I know who are the people who do perform, irrespective of the car. I think even in Monaco and elsewhere, whenever it's wet, I think KDB and Accelerate do really well, even though it's very difficult conditions. So I think even if it rains, we won't like it, but again, we have to live with it. No? So we'll deliver the result regardless. Yeah.
Okay, pretty confident there. Looking forward to see y'all race at the Russian GP. But before we go, folks, this is possibly your top three finishers at the end of the season at Bwoah Racing League, unless Supreme Leader switches on in the next few races. Cheers, boys.